Appreciate your willingness to make an expression about what you think ought to be talked about, and your recognition, particularly, that there's a need for $649 million to make all of this work. You have validated two things that the governor has been saying and tried to do. When you first got this budget a few weeks ago, I sat here and told you that I felt like the most efficient path for you to follow would be to defer the bill. And I still believe that is the most efficient thing you could do and should do. And after my remarks, I would at least ask you to consider a motion that would defer the bill instead of. You wanted to do your job, and you have done your job, and you wanted to do three things. You wanted to do your job to review the proposals, to hear from the public, and to pass a responsible budget that you could present to the people of this state. You accomplished those first two things, but you failed on the third thing. You have not passed a responsible budget to send back to the House or to send to the people of the state. And you've done that by admission. I appreciate the chairman's candor that this is a pretend budget, but this is not a pretend body. And this is not the body that engages in make-believe. And it seems to me to be a foolhardy exercise to perpetuate believing in make-believe with the very real numbers that we're facing. And so to that extent, I have to tell you that I still believe it's appropriate for you to make the expression that we know we can't fix this. As you said today, we can't fix this without revenue. So why continue to perpetuate a debate over a budget that is unfixable until we go about the business of fixing it? First of all, you are falling back into the same trap of using one-time money. You use $70 million of one-time money to balance the budget. You have used money that would, from this 18 budget into the 19 budget, a process we have condemned in the past and found unacceptable and will continue to find unacceptable. This is what the budget that you've already voted for and put your name on does. More than 2,000 state employees will receive pink slips. TOPS will be funded, according to this budget, at 70% instead of the 80% that the House proposed to fund TOPS, sending a message that you favor a cut larger than the House at a time when enrollment decisions are being made. And again, all this is qualified with my understanding that you don't like what you just did, but you don't have to do what you just did, is the point I'm making. There'll be no oversight for these youngsters who will be further destined for occupancy in our adult prison system, if we have one, down the road. Louisiana will become the first state in America to tell the federal government that we will not administer a SNAP program. No food stamps, period. No.
Commissioner, you know that we know everything that you're saying right now. So we appreciate all your comments, but we already contemplated everything you just said.
But the public...
Everything you just said, we heard, we know that, and the public will hear it next week. Our phones will be ringing off the hook next week.
And I don't envy you, and I'm not chastising you as much as I'm using this opportunity to say...
You're helping us demonstrate the problem, and that part of it. I agree with that. But don't think for 1 second we didn't know what we were doing.
I understand that.
And you are helping to demonstrate to the public how serious the problem is.
I am, and I say this with all respect to you, but it needs to be said because we've not had the opportunity, you've not had the opportunity, and I know this is the norm, but you've not had the opportunity to hear from any of the public as to how the new budget, as you fashioned it, will impact them. So one of my thoughts was going to be, before you voted on the budget, that you ought to maybe hold this over for a day and have public testimony on the impact it has. But I'm saying it, and you know it.
Listen, I appreciate your comments, but why don't we wrap that up? Because, listen, we understand what you're saying, and we fully contemplated that, and we made it pretty clear that we fully expect that this is not, it's basically we shut down government. This is what the House chose to do by not raising any revenue, or not giving us an opportunity to raise any revenue. We didn't have sentiment among this committee or the House to do anything but pass a budget. And I was against passing a budget as well. I wanted to park it from day one because I thought the whole exercise was futile. The members wanted to make a statement. They made the statement, and you're helping to reinforce that statement by demonstrating how serious the problem is.
And I would respectfully ask that you let me continue to do so that the public will understand the severity of the problem. I don't have that much more to go, and I'm eliminating, as we go, a lot of what I was going to say at your request.
Can you just conclude real quickly, because you got a bunch of comments here?
We're